Hey, welcome back to another Manga Talks video. Today we are focusing on the very big Surugaya haul that I previously mentioned on the Manga Magazine episode because I showed off a couple things there, but this video is going to be about the rest of the haul. So I got a good number of books that I have both read and have not read before, so just wanted to show off all that in this video because it's a good variety. So here is a preview of all the stuff that I'll be flicking over today. Very excited to show this off because yeah, I've had this haul for maybe about probably a month or 2 months now, so it's actually been a while. It's just that beforehand I received all like the Eroguro stuff that I showed with like Hanawa and Maruo as well, so I didn't want to go through that first. But yeah, so today let's start off with just the stuff that I focused on last time actually. So the books that I showed off last time were these two. So this is Keyholder, an anthology, and this is the gigantic Harta magazine. So I previously showed them off in that Manga Magazine episode of Manga Talk, so check that out if you want. This one, just to go over again why I got this anthology specifically, is because Kashiwai is featured in here, who does this story here. They are a mangaka that I love for their simplicity of their works. Very good art as well. And Keyholder is the first time I've heard of this anthology. So there's four other artists, which I'm not sure if I've heard of yet, but excited to check them out. And then we've also got this big issue of Harta, 2024 November, 119. So I went through and flicked through all of this in that episode, so check that out as well. And speaking of Harta, I recently finished another Harta series, which was Hinamatsuri, which is the comedy series about a like psychic girl who popped up in nowhere in a Yakuza's house, and he kind of has to take care of it. It's super wholesome. I really recommend. Oops. Okay, so this one is called Josh BL, or it's called Women's BL. This was put out in 2015, has a very nice shiny cover, and it is an anthology of a bunch of different BL stories, but the main theme tying all of them together is that all of these are focused on BL stories from the perspective of a girl who may be a classmate or may know one of the guys in different situations, all of that. This is a very good anthology. I love the variety in this, and there's a lot of artists here that I have not encountered before, which is great. So once I get some time, I will figure out who they are, what they've done. But the one I do recognize from this anthology is Harta, which they did One Room Angel, but I'll show off there. This is their art style. So good. But I highly recommend this, although it's not out in English at all. I guess it's kind of like when it comes to anthologies as well, with a lot of different mangaka, now that I'm thinking about it, with English releases, do we really have that many releases that are anthologies? Because I'm imagining, licensing would be quite hard. At least speaking from alt manga, we've had Cleolia, we've had those Comic Underground Japan, and all those other like the Axe volume as well. But now that I think about it in terms of mainstream stuff, I don't know, maybe I'm just drawing a blank here, but nothing really comes to mind, which is interesting. But at the same time, it does kind of make sense that, all of these manga put together in one volume will probably be hard to transfer the copyrights across to a Western license. But yeah, Josh BL, very good anthology, one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit damaged there, but can't complain too much. And then this work here, so this is translated to The Breath of Copernicus, or The Breathing of Copernicus. This is put out by Nakamura Asumiko in 2003, and this is by far my favorite BL story that I've read to this point in time, I'm still slowly learning more about it and trying to understand sort of the landscape of it, because I really don't know that many manga, to be honest. Like, you know, the more you read, the more you get a grip of the certain landscape, which is what I've been doing with old manga, but now I'm trying to branch out even more. So it's a story about a trapeze artist who is pictured over here that is pretty much, they work in a circus, but they are pimped off and sold to you know, different customers who are quite disgusting, and they also suffer their own trauma that is related to their dead brother, which is revealed over the course of the story. It's a very tragic, a very emotional and heavy story, so I wouldn't recommend it if you aren't into those types of tragedies. And it is very, very what's the word? Not raw, but not violent. Man, I am blanking today on a lot of words. Explicit. It is very explicit in some parts, but my favorite thing is just throughout how Nakamura draws these characters and their grief. Like, this is such a nice panel, just looking at the eyes, the detail of it. It is so vivid. A couple of these pages I will have to censor, but this is actually Nakamura's first work, I think debut work, which is wild, because as you look at their, not discography, but as you look through the course of all the manga that they've done a good variety of both wholesome BL, GL stuff and the more heavy things like this. But so far, as of what I've read from Nakamura, her debut work still remains my favorite. Nothing has beat it so far, which is just it's great, and also it sucks too, because, you know, sometimes I prefer the more lighter stories, sometimes I prefer stories that are heavier as well. But yeah, nothing so far has been able to beat this. I do recommend, if that premise of a circus and a trapeze artist interests you, although it doesn't always stay in the circus setting because it does evolve as the plot goes on, but I still do recommend if that starting point does interest you. But yeah, that is my favorite BL series, so happy to own this now physically. So now we'll move on to, oh, actually there is one more thing slightly related to the BL, because it is also another release by Nakamura Asumiko, which is this hardcover book here. So it looks like an art book, but not really. It's more on the manga side, except it's also got it in, everything is in color. So this is B's Theater number B, not number B, or Theater B, I guess. This was put out in 2013, also by Nakamura Asumiko, and this is a short story collection that collects a bunch of stories that they've done through Gothic and Lolita Bible. So these are all the stories here. I'll bring this up a little. And yeah, they all are taken from Gothic and Lolita Bible, which I guess was just a publication. I don't think it's a manga specific publication, but Asumiko's manga did feature in that. And there is also a Theater A book as well, but I only just got Theater B. So yeah, it's a very nice book for Nakamura fans who want a larger format size book, and also want a bit of color throughout everything. So it's not in full color, it's mainly just, you know, hints of color throughout. Each chapter has their own specific color attached to them. But the stories in here, because they are shorter stories, they're not very sustained. They feel more like just vignettes throughout, so they're not my favorite. I mean, nothing can beat Copernicus, but still just a very nice snapshot of Nakamura's works. I love this color as well throughout. Yeah, I might pick up A in the future, but I think I'll spend more time with B first and read it more consume the art more before I do pick up A, because either way, there is no shortage of Nakamura works to read and to consume. So I am taking my time with that. So that's first section of the video. The next section I'll go through, I guess it's just pretty much everything else. There's not really anything that connects the rest of them. So I'll just pull a bunch of those books out, go through. So let's go through this one here. So this is a shoujo work. This is called Into the Forest of the Fireflies Light. This was put out in 2003 by, I forgot to note down the mangaka name. I'll put that in the description. But this is, you may know this series from, this is really popular YouTube video. It's like an AMV way back when, of this specific story, because it's actually a short story collection, has 4 one-shots. But this one, which is the titular story, is about a girl that meets this masked spirit, and if she touches him, then he can't, he disappears pretty much, and it's about them over time. And I guess the AMV was very popular because it was like a very sad one years and years ago. So yeah, you may recognize it from there. Reading the manga, because I haven't watched the movie at all. The manga was great too. I kind of prefer this format anyways of manga, but just some classic shoujo, which, you know, always got to have a pocket or a space for some classic shoujo. I have actually been looking at trying to get more shoujo works that came out like earlier in like the 90s and the 80s, because I am, along with my journey into Western comics, into BL, all that other stuff, shoujo has been slowly increasing in terms of my interest in it, and that world is such a big world and I don't know anything about it, but slowly I do want to learn more and more about it and get to know just the general landscape, because a lot of big names that I do want to dive into. But yeah, some great classic shoujo. Then we have, and I do want to say as well, the other stories too, they're more like school romances and also family relationships as well. It's not all romance, it's also like just wholesome stuff, bittersweet stuff. So that's always great. There was also like a reprint or a special edition of this that came out later with additional short stories, but I didn't get that one. Just wanted to get this original volume. So that was that. And then this one here is another one-shot collection by Aoi Ikebe, one of my favorite artists at the moment. This is called Ne Mama, or Hey Mum. This was put out in 2017, and it's a collection of one-shots, which are all over here. And apparently in one of these one-shots, they're actually a continuation or a sequel story. No, not sequel story, maybe a prequel story to Kagome Kagome, one of the other longer works that Ikebe did. Looks like it's this one here. It's set in a nunnery pretty much, so that got me very interested in this book as well. But in general, you know, Aoi Ikebe, one of the best manga artists out there right now. I kind of put her on the level of Natsujike Miyazaki as well. And same thing with Nakamura. I'm taking my time with their work, so this is the first Ikebe book that I bought in months and months. So yeah, very happy to own this as well, and always gotta love the color that they put through. Okay, so next one that we'll go through. This one is an interesting one. I picked this up because it was like an interesting premise. Yet another anthology book. This one is called the Oshi X Fan Anthology Comic, We Who Love Our Oshi. So Oshi is like slang in Japanese for like your favorite idol or actor. So this is an anthology that was put out in 2024. And yeah, I guess it's just every single story focuses on something to do with either maybe a fan, the idols themselves, the actors themselves, and their relationship with either the Oshi or the actual celebrity. But yeah, it looks interesting. I don't know if I recognize any of the mangaka here, to be honest. So yet again, another book and collection of artists that I am not familiar with. So even more for me to explore, which, I'm kind of digging myself in a hole with how many anthology series I'm picking up, but they're usually the most fun anyways. It just takes a while to get through them and research and learn everything about them, but that's the journey. All right, got a couple more books left. This one I have actually read. This is called Hana-chan and the Shape of the World by Ueda Ryoutarou. This came out in 2019, and this is also out in English officially. And so this is great because it really fulfills my love for these sort of like magical realism stories that are mixed with, your slice of life. Because we follow Hana-chan, who's this little girl here. She kind of lives in like the rural part of Japan, in like a village somewhere, and it's just kind of about her adventures. Some of it is portrayed to be pretty fantastical, but she's a kid, so she sees the world differently, but in manga format translates very, very well. Yeah, so every single story is just about her life with her friends, stuff that kids just have to go through, how they learn about the world, and the art is just so good, so detailed. I'm not too sure if the mangaka has done any other manga, but I will definitely need to check that out because I really love this sort of style of like more stylized character designs. You can see Hana-chan with a very big little like oval head, and you have this tiny cat who's got very lopsided eyes, which is actually really cute. And the cat does pop out throughout the manga, which is great. But yeah, it's such a good sense of style there. So I highly recommend this one. I think I ranked this like 10 out of 10. There's like nothing really that I can critique about it because it just satisfies every single criteria that I have for slice of life magical realism. So check that out in English. I think maybe by Yen Press it's been put out by. Okay, next book. This one is called 36 Degrees by Gotou Yukiko. So it is a collection of even more one-shots by this mangaka. So I have read one tankobon by them before, and it's interesting. The stuff that they do, it's a lot more sexual than I anticipated, because I got this actually, I think it was a little bit after I bought another one of their tankobon. It's called Heaven. I read that, and that was, I don't know, it's very tough for me to figure out whether I like it or not, because there are interesting concepts, but at the same time kind of uncomfortable to read. I may have to censor some of these pages too, but I guess they're more drama works throughout. I wouldn't say tragedy exactly, but at least for the other book that I read, Heaven, which I might actually show off now. This one here, this is Heaven, also by Gotou Yukiko, and it's got 4 short stories in here, which is, I'm weirdly enough, I'm still trying to figure out my opinion on this overall thing. So yeah, but with a cover like that, I was not expecting stuff to be that sexual, so it kind of took me off guard. But 36 Degrees, I think this will kind of be the deciding point of whether, if I like this, then I may look into more of it, but if I don't, then I might not really pursue reading their stuff in the future. But yeah, that was 36 Degrees by Gotou Yukiko, put out in 2018. And so we're reaching the final stages, or I think we're actually onto one of the final books. Yeah, this one is one that I've been looking forward to a lot. This is called the Quick Obake no Ugokanai Manga. So it's Quick Obake is the name of the mangaka, and well, they're more of an artist, I guess, because I firstly discovered them on social media. They're an illustrator who posts like GIF manga on their socials. So on their posts, you actually see like moving animated versions of what's here, which is really cool. And it's following this like cute ghost, which is their character, which I guess is the name, Quick Obake. Obake just means ghost, I believe. But really cool because throughout all of it's in color, and it's a very cute cartoony art style, which I love, and you have a lot of different variety of color. But I highly recommend checking out their socials actually, because it's a lot of fun looking through it. So I mainly follow them on Instagram. They probably have Twitter, but I will link that in the description below. But it looks like another just, you know, adventure type of manga where we follow the journey of this ghost going around doing random things, meeting people. But it is very cute, and the fact that it's also all in color is great too. So yeah, that was the quick Obake moving manga, I guess this translates to. And the last book that we have for today will be an art book. So this one is an art book that is titled Portrait by John Kafka. So they're an artist, illustrator from South Korea. And I firstly found them from Twitter actually. I guess it was just like randomly their art was on my For You page, so I followed them, and they do some great colorful illustrations of pretty much just, yeah, like portraits, girls in different poses, that sort of thing. So a ton of variety in this book, and it was a good, like, I wouldn't say break, but it's just a good thing to change up the art books that I've been getting, because a lot of them that I have been getting recently have been more of like the avant-garde stuff. So returning to the roots of just, you know, more like modern illustrator art is a refreshing pickup. Yeah, there's a lot of pages of this, which I appreciate. Yeah, sure. So 2022-2024 works. This one was put out in 2024. But yeah, so that, I believe, is everything. Yeah, okay, I've gone through everything. So that was the rest of my Surugaya haul from 2 months ago. So a good variety for me. Nothing really of the alt manga or the eroguro side of things. This is me catching up with pretty much everything else that wasn't eroguro, wasn't alt manga, gekiga, heta uma, because kind of it feels like the opposite. You know, you've got BL, we've got more modern manga, this illustrator series, art books, shoujo, everything else. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.